Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. I love the energy in the room, and I hope to maintain that going forward. So, in today's talk, I'll be telling you about agentic decision intelligence and how that can transform all of our entities and businesses into becoming cognitive enterprises. And so, in this presentation, I'll start with a little bit telling you what exactly that is. What is agentic decision intelligence? What are cognitive enterprises? And most importantly, after that, I'll go into the section of how to do that. What is actually under the hood of such transformations? And then I'll end with a little bit about who we are as an entity that's driving this change and becoming part of that movement. So starting with the what. If you look at enterprises and businesses today, they make a large number of decisions. It is estimated that the Fortune 500 companies alone make over 3 billion decisions every single year. So the volume is large. But more than that, more importantly, estimates are made that over 50% of these decisions are wrong or incorrect. So now you have a huge problem. You have huge volume, and the accuracy and the quality is not great. And of course, the question is, how can we fix that? How can technology help improve these metrics? And of course, this year we've seen it all around us. It's the year of the AI agents. And so the question is, how can we take this transformative technology and infuse it into solving our decision-making needs? And even when you look at a lot of the quotes of leaders of this movement, they really look at it as transforming what businesses are, and even the number of people working in them, saying that there could be the first single-person unicorn company or even zero-person purely AI-run company. And so the question now is, how can we really harness this really transformative technology into becoming a cognitive enterprise? And of course, the question first arises, what is a cognitive enterprise? Put simply, it's when a lot of the tasks, functions, or even decisions are made by the machine, where AI agents and the like will actually be guiding and steering the wheel as much as possible. The more that happens, the more you are transforming into becoming a cognitive enterprise. And of course, that should have an actual impact on your performance. Whether you're talking about revenue, whether you're talking about efficiency, whether you're talking about the cost, that is the real metric that you can measure of your business transforming into becoming cognitive. And more importantly than that, what does it mean to relate it to the previous technologies that were on the market? So if you look at the classical, more traditional machine learning models, or even older than that, dashboards and heat map and visualizations, those were very powerful, but in doing what? In helping the human think and execute correctly. So we were always in the mode of human in the loop. And of course, the vision, the next 5 years, 10 years, what we will be targeting is always human out of the loop. But what about this time that we're in right now? This current time, we're going to be living in a lot of human on the loop, where there are a lot of execution that's done and recommendations that are done by the machine or by the AI, and the human is observing and making sure they are valid. This is every decision from where to locate your next business, to which applicant to accept or hire, or even how many new workers you should open up positions for the next quarter. Every one of these decisions, you should have a full loop that's done by the machine or the AI, but still humans are almost like observers. Just like a self-driving car, what is it today? You have a co-pilot mode, your hands are on the wheel, but it's actually doing the whole process end-to-end autonomously. And so with that being said, what I want to focus on is using these AI agents in a particular way. First, if you look at the past, every one of our technologies were more of business intelligence technologies, where they were summarizing the data, showing you what we like to refer to as the known information. So this is a rear-view mirror of what happened. And of course, more classical, traditional machine learning models, or even classical AI, was much more forward-facing. They were predictive, they were anomaly detectors, they were estimators, they were telling you much more data or information. What we want is to go one step further in that cognitive transformation and say, how about having the machine actually devise an actual decision or recommendation, as we refer to it as decision intelligence. So now the level of cognition just went one step further. You're not asking it to predict or estimate, you're asking it to answer the actual question you needed to answer yourself and say, here you go, do the whole task end to end. And this is what is really all about bridging the gap between what you can know to what you should be actually doing. And this actually will be transformative for every function or task that you accomplish within your enterprise. And of course, let me give you an example of what that looks like in real life. If you were a retailer, I'll use a local one, Walmart, for example, BI will tell you how much you sold, who bought it from you, how much inventory you have on hand. IoT sensors will measure everything that's going on up to this point. This is the past. AI will be much more futuristic. It will, or classical machine learning models will be forecasting, estimating. They can tell you about demand tomorrow. What did people say about you online? Or even try to synthesize kind of the sentiment that people are forming about your brand. But all of that is what? Is more information and knowledge. What AI agents are all about is taking all of that past data, future information, like how many people might walk into your retail store tomorrow, and coming up with a real, actual goal that you wanted. It's telling the retail business, for example, where to open your next, how many workers should you hire, where should you actually order your next inventory shipment, and which store should you send it to, and even marketing campaigns of what and when should you do them. And you can see that once you have these answers, this is the whole actual focus that you were aiming for. Everything was building up to this answer and this question, which now the machine can do full loop on itself without human intervention. And of course, the reason you do this is for the impact. You don't do it for the fact of being technologically advanced. You do it because it will have a transformative impact on your performance, whether revenues, cost, performance and efficiency, and what have you. And that is the definition that we like to refer to as a cognitive enterprise that uses the machine in a lot of its tasks, a lot of its functions, end to end, making sure that they are observing it the most. And this is not something we invented. It's really catching something that a lot of big players are doing, and even a lot of big businesses are dedicating full attention to. Not only the agentic AI, which every enterprise definitely is doing, but even decision intelligence, how to make sure the AI agents are not performing any task, but the highest cognitive tasks of decisions. A lot of leaders are pushing the frontier of what this is doing across the world. And so that is really the part of the presentation of telling you what exactly I'm talking about when I talk about cognitive enterprises and agentic decision intelligence. But now the question is how? How can we actually harness these evolutions of technology into our business today? And that's what we're pushing within Intelmatics. We are offering the Enterprise Decision Intelligence Platform, or EDIX. EDIX is a subscription SaaS AI platform that an enterprise would subscribe to and get answers to their core decisions that they need within their business. So what does it answer? Well, it literally tries to break your business into, or even enterprise into all of its verticals, from the assets it has, the workforce, the operations, or even the performance targets that you have, and of course, the surrounding market all around you. And of course, when you look at these, there are a wide variety of decisions, everything from where to send my fleet, how many workers to hire, where should I actually do the marketing campaign, which influencer to pick, or even how many actual investments should I make in the next year and in which verticals of my business. And so let me show you an example of how that looks in real life today in a retail store. So we've actually deployed multiple sectors, EDIX in multiple sectors. One of them is retail. So if you're a retailer today and using EDIX, the first thing that EDIX will do is actually guide you through the BI step, the Explore. You want to know everything that's going on in your business because that's always a critical first step in your understanding. And so the first phase is really understanding everything that happens. How much I have in my business now, it's inventory, if I'm a retailer, who bought it from me, all of the stocks I have on hand, every one of my sensors is telling me. But this is the past. This is the rearview mirror that really is much more traditional and classical. The next step is forecasting or prediction. You use classical machine learning or AI models to predict the future. But that is not the ending step. The last step you go to is decisions. When you ask EDIX to decide, it will actually give you solid recommendations of what you should be doing. Literally telling you where to place your workers, how to schedule them, how much inventory to order, should you open a next store, and if so, where it is. And the beauty about it is the value that you're getting is not just better quality decisions, the delta between the human and the machine. The beauty about it is a scalable, sustainable dynamic. It's always looking at every piece of information, collecting it for you, and explaining it. So every decision that EDIX gives you has a lot of backing information that says, here's the data that I used to come up with this recommendation. Now, these AI agents are various. You have them in, as I said, in all of the different decisions and functions of your business. Let me show you a different sector in logistics. Literally, one of the entities that are using EDIX are using it for managing their fleet, where to send all of their different fleet operations and trying to maximize their performance. Now, without getting into details of the entity, this is literally saving them over 10 million SAR per year based on a factor of less than roughly 20% of the cost of what they would have done using any other cutting-edge technology in the market. Now, that savings that we created was how? By making sure that the whole function of assigning and deploying your logistics is done by an AI agent that is actually trying to optimize your metrics. And this was all about cost reduction while maintaining the same level of quality and performance. Next, I'll quickly go over even examples in the workforce. This is an entity that manages over 500,000 workers. And you can imagine with that scale that they're dealing with, there's a lot of decisions. How many, which ones to accept, where to place them, how to schedule them, and more importantly, even how to manage and retain a lot of these workers. Now, within this enterprise, all of these decisions were done by the AI end to end, but still the decision maker says we don't want it to execute. So that last step of execution, we want the human to still be responsible for execution. And executing means they would actually review the decision, make sure it's proper, and they accept it and they agree with it. And really putting all of this together, it's all about how you do it under the hood. So I'll quickly show you the tech stack that's powering edX of performing these agentic decision intelligence capabilities. Starting with the first layer that always pops up in everyone's mind is the data. Of course, no doubt, we have a lot of data that we need from the actual user, whether it's a business, whether it's a government entity. That is the first step of gathering that information to power the AI models. But more than that, edX is empowered by tons of external context data. It knows about the local context, everything from mobility, census, weather, social media, even traffic. It looks at that not just to hoard data, but to actually analyze and see how all of these layers of information are affecting your operations or your decisions. Whether you're talking about logistics, whether you're talking about opening a next door, or even if you are a business that actually are managing the city and sending your inspectors to inspect different stores, every one of these layers of information relates to some metric or business impact that you might be interested in. And the AI agents will use what we refer to as the digital twin of the world around you to really make sure it's making the right recommendation. And this is really going to transform what it's actually able to pick up. It's going to relate traffic to how the marketing campaign functioned or not. All of these relationships are going to be really transformative for how businesses will be able to detect and reflect minor changes in what's going on in their business or around them. And of course, this is really the first layer. This is like the infrastructure that feeds all of the information to the AI, which is the digital twin. That's the first layer of data. After that is the classical traditional machine learning models. This is where you actually use machine learning to forecast, predict, estimate a lot of the important forecasts that you might need. Now, this is really what has been up to 2020, all of the AI was all about. This is where you literally had all of the models estimating and telling you more information, more data that you didn't have. So instead of the raw data, you have forecasted, predicted data that you needed. This is now where the AI agents come in. They take all of that past raw data, they take all of those forecasts, estimates, and even detections that you might have made, and they synthesize an actual decision or recommendation. They might recommend where to open a store. If that example is taken, you will take the raw data of where are my current stores. That's raw data. Where's the hot spots that are actually moving in the city and people are moving to more and it's getting more attention. More other businesses are opening up, for example. That then is used by the AI agent to come up with a decision, and it actually tells you how confident it is in it. It's actually telling you what data it used that actually was more useful to come up with this recommendation. And it's not only more accurate and performing, but it's even synthesizing and relating things that you might have not even detected or even been aware of. And this step is really the answer that we were looking for. But there's one step afterwards, which is very important. It's the cross-cutting, connecting the dots. What does that mean? An answer is not enough in a silo. The marketing team doing a marketing campaign that the inventory team or logistics are not ready for is a very big disaster waiting to happen. And so what the next step is connecting the dots, making sure that every one of these agents are actually speaking to all of the other agents and sharing what decisions or recommendations or actions they want to take. So put in a simple manner, you want to make sure that you're breaking the silos and creating synergy between your different departments or functions. So if one was responsible for inventory, the other is logistics, the third is marketing, every decision that an agent has made is actually not only communicated, but aligned and synergistically aligned with every one of the other agents in your business. Now, literally, this value proposition here alone will really be transformative. I've heard many business owners say just having the right direction, aligning on one direction is more important than having the best direction. It's really making sure you have synergy in your operations. Otherwise, you'll have a lot of waste, a lot of friction, a lot of bad decisions being made. And so alignment and synergy is one of the values that AI agents will be able to add value to your business and organization. Now, putting that all in one unified platform is what edX is all about, where now you can imagine literally as a CEO or a CEO of an organization, you can have one digital consultant or in some sense, a trusted advisor that you can ask questions like, what should I do about my locations? It will not only answer and say, well, here are a few locations I'm suggesting you should open in, but you can even investigate it and interrogate it. Literally ask it why. Why would you recommend this location? And it will give you all of the information it had. But after that, after it justifies and gives you enough confidence in this decision, you can say, you know what? I've heard your examples and evidence and reasoning for why this location is good. I checked it myself from my own psychological or strategic point of view. Now I want to approve it. Once you approve it, you even ask it, I want you to actually execute this. It will say, wait, hold on a minute. You need to make sure that your other functions are also aligned. Is this actually something that you're ready to do with regards to how much coverage or logistics coverage you can have within your current fleet? Or even your inventory plans for the next period are actually going to be able to handle this location. And so this alignment between the different AI agents is actually important, and it's literally almost like a guide rail, making sure that you're not going to do something that will actually harm the business or enterprise instead of improving it. And with that being said, I hope that this gives you a very good understanding of what agentic decision intelligence is all about. They are AI agents that are focused on answering a very particular powerful decision within organizations, and they're making sure that you are really performing at a much higher pace and powerful manner than before. Ending with one last section, which is who we are, very quickly. So Intelmatics was founded by a group of MIT scientists and engineers in Boston, the US. And we are a Saudi group of founders that then expanded to have the headquarters in Saudi and Riyadh, but also a technical hub in Boston and London. And we're very proud to have had amazing talent from all over the world, from top institutions that really joined our mission to really transform every enterprise and business into becoming cognitive. And we're very much proud of many accomplishments and awards that we received over the years. And last but not least, a call to action for this great audience is we also have what we refer to as Intelmatics Labs, which has already partnerships with top universities around the world. And we're always looking for advancing our R&D arm to make sure that we're always pushing and building the cutting-edge technology of the future. With that being said, thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you.